Good morning, students. In the previous class, we had discussed about the crop production and the management. That was the part 1, where we had concluded at the crop production processes, that is adding manures and the fertilizers. Once again, I recapitulate what the difference is between manures and the fertilizers. So let us summarize those. Manures and fertilizers. Number 1, manures, that is required in large quantities, while fertilizers are required in small quantities. Second one, that is manures are the organic source, derived from organic sources, while fertilizers are prepared in factories, and these are the chemical sources, you can call it. Number 3, manures are not nutrient specific. Manure doesn't contain the specific nutrient, rather it contains the variety of the nutrients, and that too into the less quantities, while fertilizers are nutrient specific. For example, if you need nitrogen only, you can use nitrogen fertilizers. If you require the phosphorus, you can use the phosphorus fertilizers. Or if we need the potassium, we can use the potassium fertilizers. So that way, this is nutrient specific. Fourth one, these are having organic matters and has got water holding capacity, while fertilizers don't have organic matters and doesn't have or don't have water holding capacity. And the more importantly, we can have the fifth difference, that is excessive use any adverse effect on soil fertility, while excessive use degrade soil fertility. So this way, both are having certain advantages and disadvantages, but ultimately what we find, manures are much better than the fertilizers. But the problem associated with the manures, that it is to be added in the bulk quantities, it's a storage, it's transportation, that is also very difficult one. That's why, in order to maintain the soil fertility as well as to provide the plant nutrients to the soil, this is always advisable to just use a combination of manures and the fertilizers, so that all the best quality required for the soil fertility, that is being maintained. Now next step comes, that is irrigation. Irrigation is another very important part of the crop production, because different plants are having the different water requirements, and depending upon the climatic conditions, availability of the water, we have to see when and how much irrigation that is required. For the purpose of irrigation, especially in India, if we talk about, we are mainly dependent upon the rainwater, then surface water like rivers, canals, well or tube well. Since rivers and the canals, they may not have the sufficient water supply in every conditions or in every climatic conditions. So naturally, the total dependence we cannot have on rivers and the canals. Rather, we will have to depend on the groundwater, what we get from the well or the tube wells. By using well and tube wells for the water, for the purpose of irrigation, that is having a great disadvantage for our survival, because the way we are using these two resources, gradually our groundwater is getting depleted. Due to this reason, in summer season we find lot of difficulty to get water for our drinking as well. Because with these the traditional methods of irrigation, a large amount of water is getting wasted as well. So for this reason, nowadays two specific irrigation methods that is being used. By using sprinklers, and another one is called drip irrigation. Now in the sprinklers, high pressure is passed through the pipelines, and these pipelines are having a rotatory nozzle which is fed up water which falls onto the crops or the plantlets like rainfall. So that way gradually water is being added to the plants. Now another important method is drip irrigation, where suppose these are the two rows of plants. In between there runs a pipeline over here, which are having the small holes into it, which add water drop by drop to the plants exactly into the roots. So these are the two scientific methods by which we can not only utilize our resources, but in the simultaneously we can save our groundwater resources as well. But irrigation is always necessary for the crop production. So whatever resources we are having, we have to utilize it properly. Especially those crops which are being grown into the summer season, they require a lot of water. Similarly, if we use fertilizers, what we need, that we need to irrigate the field with large amount of water. Reason may be why. Fertilizers, when they are added to the soil, the concentration that increases into the soil, and thereby a process what you will study in the later part of your studies or in your classes, that is called osmosis. And due to exoosmosis, roots lose water. And once the root hair cells they lose water, the plants will die. That's why we need a large quantity of water after adding fertilizers, so that the endosmosis takes place, and thereby the fertilizers or the nutrients they get entry into the plants, and we get the better plant growth. Now, normally 3 to 4 months time is being taken out for the ripening of the crops. But in between, we need to have the crop protection against weeds and the pests. Weeds are unwanted plants growing along with main crop, and they compete for nutrients, air, sunlight with the main crop. Normally these unwanted plants we don't grow, but they get grown along with the main plants wherever we are carrying out the crop production processes. And naturally these plants will also requiring for their own both the development nutrients, air and sunlight. So naturally whatever things are meant for the main crop, they are being shared by these unwanted plants, and by this sharing the main crops are not getting the nutrients, air and sunlight properly, and the growth of the main crop that is getting disturbed. So this is needed that these weeds are removed from the field time to time whenever we find they are growing. For this purpose, what we do, either we can do it manually or by using a chemical substances called weedicides. But the weedicides are the chemical substances, and they have got the disadvantage that they are getting absorbed into the main crop, and ultimately that will cause the health hazards whenever we are consuming. So this is better to remove or uproot the unwanted plants manually time to time. Thereafter, another problem during the crop production are the pests. These pests may be microbes, insects, or rodents. Rodents are typically mice, birds, etc. And rodents are those organisms which consume their food by gobbling. So mice and birds are the major rodents which hamper our crop production, because whenever it is getting time to get ripened, these attack onto the field and the majority of the grains are being consumed by these two. Apart from that, these microbes and the insects, they also feed on the main crops, sometimes into the roots, sometimes into the stem, sometimes into the leaves, and thereby the plant growth is getting disturbed. So this is needed that these pests are being controlled properly. Now these rodents, especially for the birds, you must have seen in the field we use a scarecrow, where in a piece of bamboos, an earthen pot inverted that is placed into, and that makes the birds to escape. However, for mice, we cannot do much into the field, but yet we should not kill snakes, because they are our friends here, and snakes, they feed on mice. And regarding microbes and insects, although there is no control other than the chemical substances, however, we can control them by using the improved variety of seeds which are resistant to the microbes and the insects. Also, For these, we can use pesticides, the chemical substances which is to be sprinkled onto the crops just to kill them. But again, this is a chemical substance, poisonous in nature, getting absorbed into the main crop, and later on it may cause the health hazards. So, these pesticides ultimately, although killing those things, but they are not of great use for mankind who is dependent upon the crop production. So what do we need? We need the biological methods. Biological methods include the certain microbes which just act or infect the larva of the insects and they are being killed. So these are the best methods, and nowadays we are developing a much just to reduce our dependence on the pesticides. Now once soil has been prepared, seeds have been sown, manure fertilizers have been added, irrigation has been done properly, weeds and the pest controls have been done. So now this is the time for the enjoyment of the people, that is time for harvesting. So once the crop gets ripened, those crop plants are cut just near by the roots. They are all collected into a safe place, and thereafter the grains are getting separated, the process known as threshing. And traditional method, that is known as winnowing. So harvesting includes cutting down the ripened grain plants and thereafter removal or the separation of the seeds. Now these two processes, that is cutting and threshing, these are being done traditionally separately, but nowadays if we have got the vast area of the field, especially where cooperative systems are working, small pieces are not there, large pieces of the lands are there, where we use a method, but that is the machine driven method, that is called combine. Combine is a tractor driver or the machine which carries out both the things, that is cutting and threshing. These combine simultaneously. So rather we can use what is combined. So a machine that carries out simultaneously the harvesting and the separation of the grains into the field itself. In the recently you must have observed that when our Rabi crops were ready and they were harvested into the fields manually by our farmers, in the same time suddenly the climatic conditions deteriorated and a lot of crop they get destroyed into the field itself. Just in order to prevent all these, combine is the best method, and we get our grains immediately after cutting down into the field itself. Now, in India, the different parts, we have got the festivals also related to the harvesting, like Bihu, our Makar Sankranti, and all these, they are the harvesting festivals. After harvesting, when grains have been collected, and as we know that in the whole grain, whatever has been produced, that cannot be used at a time, because this will fulfill our needs for the next year as well. So for which these grains are needed to be stored well. So storage is another important aspect for the crop production, and that is the last method, the last step of the crop production. So now during storage, some special treatment is being done, because if we store our grains as it is into the sacks or granaries, that is the buildings where the huge pots are there where the grains are being stored, so they are very much likely to be attacked by the microbes as well as rodents like mice over there. But major problem is the microbial attacks onto the ripened crops. Why it happens? Because for the microbes to grow, what they need organic matters, that is food, what is there into the grain. Thereafter, moisture that remains inside the grain, and the temperature, that is 30 to 33 degrees Celsius, which is most common in every part in India. So if these three things are available, that will give rise to microbial growth, and that will destroy our crops. So out of these three, we cannot remove this one. We cannot reduce our temperature everywhere. Although some vegetables storage, we have got a cold storage, but for the grains we cannot utilize those cold storages, because that invests a lot of our important energy resources as well. So this cannot be controlled. So only thing we can control the moisture content. So moisture content can be controlled by running in sun, and after cooling naturally, they are being stored into the granaries, and this treatment is required to be done time to time, because once it is being stored, moisture content in air may be high, and that can be absorbed by the grains as well. So again this problem may arise. So that's why This is required to maintain the moisture content to nearly 15 to 16% by drying into the sun and stored back after cooling it. So, in this chapter, we have learned about the crop production processes and the management of these processes at the various steps during the crop production. So just you go through the lesson, whatever books you are having with you, and try to answer whatever questions are there, and if any problem, just you can contact us. Thank you.